Hello, you're welcome. And this is a dashboard that visualizes the survival pattern, if any, of the Titanic dataset. And this dashboard is a multi-page dashboard, which is also fully responsive. And on this side is our home page, where we have our KPIs at the top right here and a few at the bottom here. That gives an overview of what we have um, from the data. We can see a total number of passengers and the distribution, their survivor distribution. We have a total of 1,309 passengers, with 500 of them surviving. We have three different classes aboard the ship, and we can see the distribution across the classes. And our survival rate is about 38% of the passengers. So only 38% of our passengers survived the um, wreck. And this is the distribution of the passengers by sex. We have more males aboard the Titanic. Now, if we go ahead and look at our analysis on this side, we can see some of our data from here. 500 people survived from 1,309 passengers, which is about 38%. And we can see our distribution of the passengers by class of transport. For the first class, we have about 323 people. Middle class, we have 277. And for the lower class, they amount to about 709 persons. And here is also a more detailed distribution of survivors by gender. Here we're also looking at survivors and non-survivors. And we're looking at, on this side, we're looking at survivors by class of transport. We can see on this side that first class have about 62% survival rate. So if you're traveling by first class, there is about 62% chance that you're going to survive in the event, or that they survived in the event of a boat mishap. And we can see on this side that those on the lower class, even though we can see on this side that we have about 709 of them, only 26% of these 709 survived. Now, if we actually go ahead and filter some of this data, we are able to drill down into this result or the analysis that we have right here. For our first class, we have 200 people survived out of 323, which is about 62%. You also have that rate right here. 123 of them did not survive, right? And for the survivors, we have 139 female and 61 male, which is about 69% female of the population. If we take a look at on this side also, those in the first class, we see 62% survival. And if you also look at it on this side, for those of the first class, you can see those who survived are in the green bars. We see that we have more females that survived on the first class as against the male. Just a few males survived when you compare both data, and a very few, less than 20 of the female did not survive. While for the male, you have close to 120, in fact, 118 male did not survive. So this dashboard generally just gives an overview of our analysis, right? And it is fully responsive. If we go on this side, we can download a PDF version of our report so you can have more detailed view of what our analysis looks like. And this is what it looks like. And here we have a full detailed documentation of our findings and what we have from our analysis. And here is our findings, or what I found out from this analysis. Through the crisis and the turbulence, the pandemonium at the time, we actually found that more women survived, right? And then the class of transport, because you have more people from the first class that survived, followed by more people from the middle class. And for the lower class, we have less survivors in that category. So we found out that it's more or less like there is an hierarchy of distribution when it comes to survivors, right? And also more females survived the mishap when you compare it with the male gender. And lastly, we found out that um, there is a preference for children survivors. More children were given the privilege, or more children survived the wreck of the Titanic. So, this is what we concluded from the findings, that through the pandemonium and crisis that occurred, there was conscious effort by the captain and crew of the ship to ensure priority was given to children and young adults. We also found out that the class of tickets played a major role in the survival of passengers. Finally, the female were also prioritized over men during the evacuation process. So I do believe that with what we've seen so far, with our analysis of this data set, we can come to a conclusion of what really happened to the passengers aboard the Titanic. Thank you very much.